Pledge of allegiance. A pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll bring the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Bob Cecilia,
Here.
Travis Dunlap,
Present.
Jim Meeks,
Here.
Timothy Meunier,
Yes.
Bernie Paprad is absent.
Okay, any communication bills or expenditures? Okay, and then approval of minutes. Need a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Report of officers, committee, or staff.
We got a motion.
Roll call.
Oh, sorry, roll call. I apologize. Discussion. In discussion. No discussion. Roll call.
Travis Dunlap,
Yes.
Bob Cecilia,
Yes.
Jim Meeks,
Yes.
Timothy Meunier.
Yes. Okay, we have a preliminary hearing tonight. Brian and Rebecca Craig. If you could step forward and state your name, your address, and what you're asking for.
Where do we talk to?
Just come up in front of the seat.
Oh,
Just
okay.
Explain, and in some detail what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll first introduce myself. My name is Brian Lewandowski. I'm a contractor for Brian and Rebecca Craig. You know my address?
Yes, just for the
My
record.
address is 1531 South Patty Mount Road in Chesterton. And then Brian, we get to talk now.
So, I just need to stand. It's,
Oh, okay.
is 1134 South Babcock Road, Burns Harbor.
And can you explain what you're looking for in detail?
Okay, I'll do that. So, short version, long story, this is kind of a unique, property in the sense that it's, got quite a bit of wetlands on the property. We first had a plan and a permit to set the house in the way far back of the property. Come to find out, there was a recreational easement, which we were told was only a sewer easement. And then I told Brian and Rebecca, like, hey, there's potentially could be people walking 10 foot from your backyard. They're like, we don't want that. So then we already had a building permit for that site plan. We moved the house forward, redesigned the whole house, probably spent another month redesigning the house, submitted a new set of plans, and that's a house that ended up getting built. So what I'm saying is there's a long steps to get to this point. The site plan that got submitted, which I believe I turned in to everybody, right?
Mhm.
It's pretty detailed as far as where the house goes, where the wetlands are, that type of stuff. This lot was desirable to them because of the natural habitat that it had. So that's kind of why we designed the house to fit the unique characteristics of this lot. So the second page of what is there is a blown up version of the site plan, because it's such a big lot. So this is just so you can see the surrounding areas. So you see the front yard has existing wetlands there. So like those are to remain because that was desirable for them to keep the natural habitat. So when we submitted the permit and the plans, they came back to us and asked a few questions about square footage and, where's the furnace located and that kind of stuff. So at that time, if there was any issues with the site plan, those should have been brought to our attention, in my opinion, during the review process after we submitted that back in. So then fast forward 8 or 10 months, whatever it is, the house is done and we're trying to get our final occupancy permit and they're like, hey, you need side in the backyard. We're like, really? Or in the front yard? We're like, really? Where's it show that at? So then somewhere hidden deep in the ordinance about subdivisions, it talks that we need side in the front yard. So it was never their intent to have like a standard grass front yard, so they just wanted the natural habitat, leave the wetlands as they are. And just have some minor landscaping on the front of their house, which is that second kind of smaller sheet that their landscape architect designs. So that's kind of why we're here, is they just want the natural habitat in the front yard.
And just a quick question, so I understand what you're saying. Just the wetland areas is what you're asking for? It's not, the rest is gonna be a mix of grass and back towards the edge of the property, or is it all gonna be?
They just wanted all the natural habitat, you know?
Oh, okay, I just wanted to.
Yeah,
Okay.
so like, I don't know if you've taken a look by there, or look down there, like they got there's a drainage ditch in the front yard that is kind of like natural habitat type stuff. I don't think anybody along that road maintains it to like mow it and that kind of stuff. So if they did have like grass or sod, it'd be a little patch. So from the road, it'd be natural habitat, little patch of grass, and then their house, if that makes sense.
And question, you say natural habitat. Oh, is there anything specific?
No, what's there, what's existing, you know, the wetlands are obviously, you know, there's, I don't know, all the native species and stuff that go there and do that kind of stuff, but it was mitigated wetlands, like, obviously, when they went to apply for the subdivision, whoever the developer was.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
The one question I had as far as like the landscape plan, as far as, you know, I think that, right?
Yeah,
It's just the plan as far as whether the intention was with the native species of plants. I know there's a generic description, but that was probably the.
yeah, that plan that you're looking at is kind of more like up closer to the house, where the sidewalk is, so it's outside of the wetlands area. So those wouldn't be any species of plants that are native to that area.
Does anybody have any questions? What were questions?
On your application here, item number 2, neighboring properties have similar natural habitat. Which properties are you speaking of?
I think there's a property to the south. It has a really long driveway, and then a house that's in the way far back of in the woods. So up in the front of the house off the street, it's just natural habitat all the way to.
Those are trees and stuff, right?
Yeah, and they have trees and stuff in the front of their property as well.
You're talking about 1134, I believe, right?
I'm not familiar with the address.
No, that's not.
Perfect.
The
I'm sorry, 1136, 1136.
south of Hamilton was. Yeah, 1130, around there somewhere. But again, the one down there by the bike trails, that one's grass out front. All grass.
It could be. I don't know if they have the amount of wetlands that this particular property has. So I didn't research any of those properties. I know this one has been for sale for a long time, and probably the reason why people didn't want to buy it is because it was hard to build on, you know, so. And I spent a lot of time with Ryan Beck on other properties, so 3 years, yeah, they had a house or a lot on the. And we look at some of Beverly Shores, yeah, they just don't want a standard subdivision type front yard that you know, side, so.
Well, we're here just to decide whether to have a hearing or not, whether we're going to approve or not. So,
Today's discussion, any motions?
make a motion, we go ahead and set up for a public hearing.
And I'll say,
Never mind, Bob got it.
And roll call?
Timothy Meunier,
Yes.
Travis Dunlap,
Yes.
Bob Priscillius,
yes,
Jim Meeks,
Yes.
Okay, Michelle, what is the next meeting, just so we know?
Okay.
June 28th.
Oh, here's the bottom, okay, so, all right. Okay, well, see you next month and a public hearing. make sure all the paperwork and work with Michelle, and everything's turned in, we should be good to go.
Yeah, I think the only question I had on that is, you send notices to neighbors within, is it 300 feet or 500
Yeah.
feet?
Yeah,
So I don't know if, like, across the street, I believe is Porter County, so it's not your,
No, across the street is town of Porter,
or it's out of Porter,
but you still have to
but
notify.
still
them.
notify that, okay.
And if the railroad's there or Nick's goes, you gotta notify them as well.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I wasn't sure if it was just, some municipalities are different where you notify just that municipality, but we'll notify them as well. I think we submitted all our, who we are sending.
You don't send out the notices, you send.
Yeah, we send them out, but you do the notices prior to being sent out, I think, for the accuracy of it. I don't know, I could be wrong. Well, we'll send them out to the neighbors across the street as well.
is it gonna be an updated list from what I have already then?
I think so, yeah,
Okay, if you could send me the updated list.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that would be because all the Porter's numbers are different. Address numbers are different.
All right, so good, thanks.
Well, thank you for coming.
All right, thanks.
Any old business to discuss? Any new business to discuss? And good of the order or other business? Any announcements? The only thing I'd mention is that our building commissioner has resigned. We're looking for another one, and that they haven't been found yet.
So who in the intern is doing this?
Nobody right now that I'm aware of.
Okay, so we're not issuing permits then?
But my understanding was that town council president Scott and councilman Loving met with Mr. McGraw one day last week. I don't have it in front of me what day it was. Following that meeting, he gave his verbal resignation.
Because I know Councilman Lovings is under the weather, so to speak, so.
And, yeah, and then I believe he was requested to put that in writing. He did not. And he has not showed up to work since then, so they are accepting his verbal resignation along with his no call, no show is. It's not.
No, still understand, I mean, how, they're not gonna be able to issue permits, so.
I mean, we still have a, clerk and.
Right.
Processing paperwork and I heard any questions circulate, at least up to me, what she's supposed to do, so,
See what the town council does, so.
yeah.
Okay, well, do I have any motions for?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, roll call.
Travis Dunlap.
Oh, any discussion, sorry, discussion of adjournment? It's a trick question.
Travis Dunlap,
Yes.
Bob Priscillius,
Yes.
Jim Meeks,
Yes,
Timothy Menyea.
Yes.
get that off.
Not yet.